we are talking about the Anunnaki connection to the Orisha and the Loa. Okay, so if y'all break down the etymology of Ori Shah, okay, Ori in African means head. Shah is it's also associated with Orion. Okay, so the Oris are a tribe species who used to live in a planet that exploded not too long ago and called Maldek. Okay, and they were ones that helped build Mars, the temples on Mars. There's actually faces and whole things on Mars. So the Ori, and then the Shah. The Shah are the shaggy beings or the giants from Sirius that came here and loaned our DNA. So it's kind of all technically, in my opinion, kind of the same. You have the Ori, the Orions, you feel me, and you got the Shahs, and then when they come together, they form Orisha. Okay, and then you also have in Kemetic teachings Osiris. Osiris is representation of Orion and Sirius put together, and if you put that together, the words Orion Sirius, you get Osiris. Okay, so when you're talking about the crossroads, you're also talking about the planet of the crossing, okay, which is Nibiru. Okay, there's other couple crossway planets such as like Mercury and stuff like that, but the real planet of the crossing is, or the crossroads, is Nibiru. That's the realm that is between both realms, because the technology on Nibiru is so advanced that it's 12th dimensional, so it can be in multiple places at once. And this is why they often depict it as a cross, and they show the Anunnaki wearing crosses. Okay, this is where you get your origins of Knights of Malta and stuff like that. So when you're talking about Ulegwa, take the break down the etymology, you get El, Lu, Elu. If you go into Akkadian and Phoenician, you find out that Elu is the god Enlil, so who is the guardian of the crossroads as well in Sumerian culture. So it's all the same. And then you have these are what I call the Orishas are what I call like African emanations. So you have emanations as you go through the different parallels of reality or the different gates. So you have the gates of Guinea and stuff like that in voodoo, and then you also have the Orisha that also talk about the gates that Papa Legba opens and closes and stuff like that. So in order for you to go into the ancestral realm, so when you're working with these beings, also know that you're working with beings who have aspect. These are different aspects of different, I would say, the different faces of the Anunnaki, because they show you in ancient Sumerian that the Anunnaki had two faces, and then the Anunnaki are broken into different classes among the stars in different houses. So it's all the same. So when you're talking about Ulegwa, you're talking about Enlil. When you're talking about Babaluaye, Lord of the Earth. So, and before they became into the Middle East and stuff like that, they were landed in Africa. So when they landed in Africa, South Africa to be exact, this is where you got all those pictures of giants' feet and stuff like that. Those are when the home of the gods. So in deep pre-voodoo is like, not pre-voodoo, but before it was voodoo, they had the same thing down in South Africa. It's where they have zombies, they have all that. So it's the same thing. Everywhere you go, it's the same thing. You're just looking at different perspective or different aspects of it. So when you're working with the cross or the crossroads, understand you're working with the X. The X comes into gene 10. So gene 10 is, or gene X is the DNA or the codon that gets activated when you become highly evolved and you return to your godlike state. So what else do I want to talk about? So yeah, so when you're working with Ulegwa, and that's why it represents, I'm working Oshun. So when you represent Olegwa, E and Lu has to deal with the dragon species, and this is why they depict other aspects of Papa Legba or whatever, or Kalfu or whatever, as having like a pitchfork and a serpent tail or serpent eyes or whatever and stuff like that. And that's because it relates to your serpent ancestry. So when all the gods roamed the earth, there was many wars on the face of this earth prior to the floods. We're technically on the third earth. This is called Terra 3 because the earth has been destroyed 3 times. So when they were fighting, a lot of the spirits that we worship now are or Loas or whatever we worship now were actually the spirits of the reptilians and things like that. But they're not going to show you that because that's why in reptilian culture you never depict them as they look. You never depict them as they look. They always come looking as a shift or a different form. So, I'm going to say at first, I think I personally, in my experience, the Orishas and stuff like that, they actually have some shapeshifter qualities and abilities. And if you look at the different aspects, Oshun representing the ocean, representing also Tiamat and the different aspects of that. And they talk us about that the gods were fragmented into different aspects that their minds broke and fragmented as well as the realms, and they became man. So when they became man, that means that we took ourselves and split the atom and made man in our image, so we can experience what it is to be in a human body. Exactly, same energy, different name. It's just a different perspective. So y'all talk when people be like, "Oh, the crossroads or whatever." That's your ancestry, and they went into your ancestry and took these things. This is why the Nazis or the Nazis took their name from the spider and a Nazi in West Africa, because Hitler and them invaded West Africa. They were invading all of your places, all of our spaces where all the knowledge was, and they were turning it against us. This is why we have the talking about the Order of the Black Sun, which talks about the sun inside the earth and all these secrets and stuff that they had. That's because during that time frame of that war, Hitler was traveling Africa, and he was meeting with the Ethiopians, and he was taking knowledge from them and excavating these places, and also Antarctica too, and all these places. And they were taking the information and turning it. That's how they got on the hunt to Atlantis and stuff like that. Let's see how. Thank you, thank you. I'm glad that you're here too as well. Yeah, I sure can ask me any questions or whatever y'all want. You know what I'm saying? Feel free to hit me up. It's a real chill day. It's been tiring because it is like hot out here. It's usually hot out here, but I'm sitting in a swamp right now, so chilling, and just wanted to bring y'all this information. Yes, we are cosmic beings having a human experience. We created ourselves, and we are self-created. Well, I mean, it took some effort on some people's part creating a human or carbon body in order for us to have that, but that's neither here nor there. So when y'all talk about the Orishas, Ulegwa, y'all can Google this. Google the god Ilu. That's one of the names of Enlil. You Google the Lord of the Earth. That brings you to Enki. So you're talking about the ancient teachers before they moved to Kemet and Kush and all these other places and stuff like that. This is where, and then when they talk about the different houses or whatever, that's the same in Egypt or Kemet as the different schools that they went to. So people be like, oh, Thoth. No, Thoth was not a being. Thoth was a school of thought. The school of thought. Thoth. But when they came in there and they took it, it was actually the Jedahudi, and it was where you went to learn how to become a neter, where you learned how to master the air and the wind and your higher mind in the 13 parts of your brain to become enlightened. So that's when you became a Jedi or a Djed. So when they're talking about the different schools. So when you're working with the Orisha, you're working with the schools of Orion and Shah, which is Sirius. And then when you're dealing with Loa, you're dealing with reptilian spirits. They just are shape shifting. Peace, God, peace, peace. They're just shape shifting. They never depicted them in Kemet. They never depicted the reptilian gods. That's the one rule: is do not depict them as what they are. I don't do any reading. Everything I read books in the astral. So, I mean, Can't really recommend any books. I'm psychosymmetric, so when I hold books, the only time I get a book is to absorb the energy, because I can read a book without touching you. So everything I tell y'all comes right off the head from experience. So I can't really recommend any books. I'm just gonna have to trust your spirit on where to go, particularly that. That's what's up. That's what's up. Yeah, a lot of stuff that I talk about you can't research. You won't be able to find, because I'm the first. I'm bringing it to you straight from the astral realm, straight from the sacred libraries. Before anything becomes physical, it is in a spiritual form. So before any book could manifest itself in this reality, it manifests itself in the sacred libraries, which is between Libra and Libra. What else? Libra, the libraries, and Pleiades, and some other stuff. If you learn how to astral travel, you can access some of these libraries and stuff like that. But everything I'm telling you comes just straight off the head, just from experience, from being one of those deities. You are the book, exactly. Thank you, Paris. You are the book. And this is why a lot of people need to come to me for starseed readings, so I can help you. You are a book, and that brings me to readers. If you weren't a book, why would you have to book a reading in order to get a reading from somebody? Because you're a book, and you got to be careful who you let read your book. That's why they call this Facebook. You're a book. We carry knowledge of lifetimes within us. Lifetimes, not just our ancestors, but we are our ancestors. So when it talks about Nibiru and all that, that is all talking about the same thing, the crossroads where the gods go lay to rest. You know what I'm saying? So everything in our reality is controlled by something that is invisible. And so, you know what I'm saying? This is why the ancient people would sit and listen to the trees. They're called tree whisperers, because they sit there and listen to the trees. It's an ancient art card, I think, called Jardin, where you would sit and listen to the rustle of the trees. Everything around you has a consciousness. Everything has a breath to it. Everything. And I guess that's what they call animism. Y'all got any questions? Yep. And y'all can always hit me up to help y'all open your DNA or whatever. I do charge a small fee for DNA activations and stuff like that. But I'm glad for everybody who watched. You know, we didn't have a big crowd today. We were just kicking a little bit of knowledge on these deities and how certain things, you know, in the lower, and a lot of these beings have the ability to help you manifest things in this reality. They can have a lot of help, and this is why y'all working with them is crucial, because we're at a time frame where there's an awakening happening, and we need to find our power back, and working back with the spirits of the true people or the true beings of the earth. This is why they don't want you to work with. They don't want you to know that the reptilian is you, that you are the reptile, that you are the naga or the nigga, as they will call you, that you are the god kings of earth, and it is your divine intercession to rule the earth. That's why it says the meek shall inherit the earth in the biblical sense. So, any questions, y'all, before I go? Y'all can book me for remote healing sessions and stuff like that. I'll be doing all types of stuff, uncrossings. Shoot, I'm in the middle of a ritual right now. Not gonna show y'all that, but yeah. So, and in my experience working with Ulegwa, that aspect of that particular deity, it's been pretty fun. Exactly, everything is connected to your subconscious mind, which is your underworld. That's what the underworld is. The underworld is your subconscious mind. It's where your repressed thoughts, feelings, and actions are. I do subconscious readings, guys. I do more than just mediumship too. So I do a lot of things. I work heavy with clients. I take cases. If you guys have a case or anything, please hit me up, and I can do a free consultation to take your case. I do paranormal investigations. I do a lot. There's really no limit to what I can do. But yeah, y'all have any questions? I mean, this was just a quick video before I go. I'll probably make some more videos too soon, within today or tomorrow. It depends on how I'm feeling or how busy I am. Exactly. What's up, cuz? So y'all got any questions, y'all? Yep, the Pantheon. Oh, tipper's too loud. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and go, y'all. It's nice talking to y'all. Just y'all have a blessed night. Well, not blessed. I wouldn't say blessed. I won't tell you to be less, but y'all have a great rising day, I guess, or however people want to say it. Just relax, chill, enjoy. I was just deep in meditation and just pondering. I just wanted to let y'all off with that note on that there's a connection to everything. That the Anunnaki are still being worshipped to this day. That these are your Loas and your Orishas. Don't let them tell you that this is something bad. This is your ancestry. This is where all the spirits of the giants and reptilians that passed away or still residing in the earth in the gates of Guinea or whatever. They are still around, and call upon your ancestors when you need them. Your ancestors are always there walking beside you guys. And yeah, go ahead and have a great day, y'all. Peace. So I'm going to go ahead and play my outro. Let's see. Peace. Peace out, y'all.